Hello, my name is Sarah Andrews. I'm one of the founders of OneFreePlanet, and I welcome you to this introduction for Sprint Coaches. If you are somebody who's thinking about becoming a coach with us on our platform, we certainly welcome you to this video. We're going to spend a little bit of time talking about OneFreePlanet, about the Sprint Coaching Model that we've developed, get into a little bit about the training process to become a coach, and then also talk about some matters pertaining to compensation and some policies. So first, let's talk about some of the main features of this model. One is definitely supportive online community. We are creating online something that has really been missing from the communities that currently exist. The support that happens in these groups through this model is really amazing. And if you've already experienced a sprint, then you already know this, but you'll be amazed when you start coaching what really happens in these groups in 5 days. It's incredible. And that happens partly through the daily check-ins and coaching. So the sprint model, as you'll see in a minute, is a 5-day model. And so there's daily check-ins, live calls on Zoom where you're meeting with everybody and you're providing the coaching to these people. And what happens as a result of these meetings and the overall online supportive community is that we really see these enduring friendships happening again and again. These people meet sometimes, total strangers in these sprint groups, and they end up staying friends long beyond those 5 days. Quick and measurable results are also a thing that are built into the model. We really make sure that people are defining their goals up front and then tracking their progress throughout the week so that they're able to assess at the end of the week what kind of results they've gotten. And often they're seeing results beyond what they initially planned at the beginning of the week. And there are definitely safe and collaborative environments in these sprints. We have certain principles in OneFreePlanet, and then you'll have your own agreements that you're developing for your own module, and all of that together is really creating an environment where people are sharing things that perhaps they've never shared with people, or they certainly don't feel open to share in their normal lives. And so it's really wonderful to see the transparency and the honesty and everything that's happening in these groups. And it really does create this environment where people are feeling so at home right away. And then lastly, we think that our coaching prices, typically $88 for a 5-day sprint, we think that's pretty fantastic, especially because we're hearing again and again that people are getting these, the experience and the kind of results that they haven't had anywhere else, where, in environments where they've paid much more than $88. So we believe that we do have fantastic prices. So let's talk about just quickly these 4 principles that we've established in OneFreePlanet to be really the cornerstones of our community, of the model we've developed, really everything we do in OneFreePlanet. These are principles that we have derived from Agile. So Agile is a philosophy, if you're not familiar with it. It's something that has been used in the tech world to really transform the way that teams work together, and ultimately, the results of how people have been working together in that industry over the last 25, 30 years. It really has allowed people to work in small groups where everybody is valued for what they bring individually, and they're working together as a collaborative unit in small groups where they're really able to make quick progress. They have defined results they're going for. They get stuff out really quickly. They aren't aiming for perfection. They're really just aiming to get something out that's good so that they can get feedback and continue to iterate and progress and evolve their product. So we're bringing those same kinds of ideas over into more of a spiritual growth, personal development kind of context. And these are 4 principles in particular that we've really clarified as important to that environment and those processes: honesty, transparency, open-mindedness, and collaboration. And I'll say just quickly, because I know for me it came up in the beginning, the difference between honesty and transparency that we see is that you can be honest, you can be an honest person, but we don't necessarily always communicate transparently with other people, especially if it's something that feels like it could be uncomfortable. And what we're cultivating here is really an open and communicative environment where people can speak their minds, but also learn to do it in a way that fosters the growth of everybody. So that transparency is perhaps something that people aren't as familiar with or as comfortable with. And also, the more that we all lean into that together, it really it bolsters the other three values here, and they all work together so beautifully. So yeah, these are the 4 principles that are really important to us at OneFreePlanet. So let's look at a coaching sprint. You'll see here a diagram of the outline of what a coaching sprint looks like throughout the week. You can see there's a bit of planning in the beginning. At the end, there's a review, and then there's kind of, you know, the same elements in between. And it's all structured to kind of all surround your coaching. As the coach, you're going to be bringing in your own methods, exercises, approach, your own style, you know, whatever it is that you want to share with your sprinters as the coaching piece in there. It really leaves lots of room for you to do it as you'd like to do it. But then all of these pieces around it support your material and then the whole process, and aligns with those agile principles that we talked about, and the results that we're going for. So a few things to talk about in terms of a sprint. A sprint, the word sprint, we're defining as a week of highly focused collaboration in a small group of 3 to 7 people. So these small groups, 3 to 7 people, and then plus you as the coach, we've learned that those are really ideal in terms of a group size. You know, often, you know, 5 is kind of the sweet spot. Where people are getting enough diversity in the group and enough richness for collaboration, but also not being so overwhelmed that that each person wouldn't be able to be heard. So it's a great size that we've tested for at least a year now, and it's really wonderful when you get the kind of synergy that happens in these groups, and you get to hear everybody's voices, and everybody ends up collaborating and coaching each other too. A few key points I want to highlight for you in terms of this sprint model is that we emphasize active learning through tasks. So you'll see there's a task prep bit that happens Monday through Thursday, and then they go off and they do their self-work. And these are tasks that you'll be giving them based on your material, and also tasks that they will have developed for themselves based on their own personal focus. So it's not a matter of just coming and passively learning, but they're actually taking what they're doing, you know, what they're learning each day with you as the coach, and then they're applying it into their own lives for a really sustainable impact. One of the things that we do in the huddle, we have this language we've developed in our community that uses pause, pivot, and proceed to help people to clarify the insights they're gaining from the coaching plus the work that they're doing on their own through the tasks. So a pause would be something they're recognizing that they want to stop doing, or maybe thinking that they want to stop. A pivot would be something they want to shift in their lives, and then a proceed would be something they recognize through doing a task that they want to continue to do or maybe do more of. So this is just language you'll be hearing in our community and you'll be using in the huddles. Also, another thing to highlight is this model, it's a mix of a personal focus that each sprinter will have for themselves. You will have obviously a particular topic and material that you'll be presenting, and your own ideal kind of goal for the sprinters. But within that, each person is identifying for themselves, okay, how do I want to bring this into my own life? You know, what's the focus for me? And so there's that personal focus and then progress through their own focus throughout the week, plus the collaboration of the whole group and you leading as the coach with, you know, the group tasks. So it's a really nice blend of them getting their own individual goal and ideas addressed, as well as the collaboration and the whole group moving together toward a particular end at the end of the week. The sprint review, which happens on day 5, is the time when, you know, everybody's done all of this wonderful connection, collaboration, all of these tasks throughout the week. They've learned so much. You all like love each other by then, because it always happens. And so the sprint review is the time where people get to assess their progress and talk about that, celebrate their own progress, talk about how the group has impacted them throughout the week, you know, just really celebrate each other, celebrate their own progress. And also, basically it's shared publicly. We record that particular meeting because it gives you material to then share with future sprinters and let them know what's possible in your module, in one of your sprints. And there's really no better way to let other people know what the potential is in one of your modules than to have them actually experience it through somebody who is experiencing it in the moment, you know, through that recording. So for that purpose, we record that particular meeting, and then you can share that publicly. And then the last thing to say about coaching modules overall, really, because beyond the sprint, there's ongoing support and connection that happens in the Facebook group that you have for your overall module. So when people purchase your module, they go into a Facebook group you're hosting for everybody who purchases that module. And then within that Facebook group, you're pulling people into individual sprint groups for them to experience the sprint at a time and date that works for those particular people. Let's talk about the training process to become a coach. So we've developed a process here that includes, as you'll see, the training bit up top and then some recommendations for what comes after the training. And we'll just go through this together here. If you've not yet experienced a sprint, we'll have you start with that. Maybe you've already joined somebody else's sprint and that's how you found out about OneFreePlanet. And if you've already done that, great, then you can just skip that first part. But if you haven't, what happens is in this group, when you get into the Facebook group with the other coaches, coaches who have just developed their module are doing test runs. So they're trying it out for the first time, they're testing it out, it's free, and they're looking for people to join those test runs. So we would ask you to join one of those first because we want you to have the experience of a sprint before you go and build your own module. So that would be the first thing to do. And then after that, after you've had that experience, you'll go into weeks 1 and 2, which is the actual training. And they're back-to-back weeks, so 2 consecutive weeks of training, where week 1, you'll be creating the content for your module. And this is a longer call. This is a 60-minute call every day, Monday through Friday. And that's when you'll be really deciding on what your topic is, your why, your goal, all of the subtopics included. And the reason that this is a longer call per day is because we found that this takes a bit of kind of digging into your soul, actually. Sometimes it's kind of a big identity shift in who you are as a coach in your business. And we like to provide plenty of space for that. And we want to have plenty of collaboration there for you to take advantage of as you understand, how do I take all of this wisdom that I have, all of my experience, and figure out like what's just one topic that I want to bring into this 5-day structure to start with. And of course, then there's infinite opportunity to create a million more topics, but we're starting with just one. So that can take a little bit of a mindset shift. And so that's the first week, is developing the content. Then at week 2, after you've developed all of your content, then it's more about just plugging that into the structure in order to deliver it. And so those are only 30-minute calls that you meet. And that's more of a technical week. It's really just watching a lot of videos on your own and plugging it in and then meeting with your group so that you get any assistance that you might need, and you're checking in on your tasks. You're making sure that everybody's progressing toward uploading their modules at the end of the week. So you will actually, at the end of week 2, be done with your module and upload it to the platform. So it'll be available in the OneFreePlanet shop. And then that's basically the end of the actual training. Now, after that, we certainly recommend the next steps that are laid out here. Running a test sprint is so valuable. So I can't recommend it enough to go ahead and just do a test sprint. Know that this is a brand new thing. It's most likely not perfect. In fact, we really encourage to not be perfect because often that will hold us up, right? Like we'll never get anything out. So the next thing, like right after you get your module up in the shop, we really recommend that you do a test sprint as soon as possible. And like you may have joined another coach's test run when you join the group, you can now like post it to the Facebook group and have other new coaches join you. You can have friends, people who are just your supporters in life. Have them join your test sprint and get a really good experience of what it's like to run a sprint, what maybe you didn't even think of, before running a test sprint, what you want to tweak before you really go public with it. So that would be the next step. And then of course, after that, and even in conjunction with running your test sprint, you'd be promoting. You'd be using the group, the Facebook group of all these different coaches who are building modules and getting the word out. It's a great opportunity for cross promotion. There are other coaches in the group who are actually hosting sprints around topics that have to do with promotion and branding. So it's a really wonderful opportunity for you to support those coaches and what they're sharing on OneFreePlanet while also getting what you need in terms of moving forward with your own module. There will be resources that we're providing as OneFreePlanet for you to take advantage of to help build an environment where everybody's collaborating and getting the word out about each other's modules. So lots of promotion, kind of fun promotion stuff going on. If promotion in the past for you has been something that you're not that excited about, we're really aiming to make it something that the way that OneFreePlanet does it is really more of connection. based. It's not a salesy kind of thing. It's not something that is pushy or not honoring of the people that you want to have in your sprint. We're really creating an environment and an approach with OneFreePlanet overall that's more about true connection with people, offering them something that's valuable, knowing your own value and sharing that with the world, and creating win-win situations. So you'll be experiencing different opportunities for promotion in the group. And then of course, all of it is leading up to you hosting your first sprint, like for real, paid sprint, you get paid for it. And after that, you can host that one particular module as sprint groups as many times as you'd like. You can do it for a long time, or maybe you just do it once and you realize you want to create a new one and do a totally different module. It's all up to you, but now you've had the training, you know how to do this, and so you can continue to host sprints with that module. You can create new ones and plug it into the same model and get it uploaded to the shop. You don't have to go through the training again. Basically, once you know the model, then you're in this Facebook group too with the coaches, so you're privy to any updates that are happening, and you can kind of stay connected with OneFreePlanet that way. So you're welcome to do as many sprints and as many modules as you like at that point, and just enjoy it. It's so much fun once you get started. I mean, we often see coaches come out of the training, host just a couple of sprints, and then they're on to creating new modules, and it's so fun, and it's really just a joyful environment that we're all creating together. So much creativity, so much possibility. So let's talk about the compensation plan. Obviously, a big part of this is that you're going to get paid as a coach on OneFreePlanet. So this is the breakdown, and we put the $88 price here because it's definitely the most common here as we get started with our platform. The $88 price is for the 1-week module. And so we're putting it here as the most common price, whether it's for the subscription that we'll have on our platform or if somebody is just paying that directly. There's no difference in price, so it's $88. And then from that $88, you will receive as the coach $48 of that. And then the rest of it, as you can see here, it's distributed from that is you have somebody who enrolled you in OneFreePlanet, that's your connector, and that person gets $8. And then we have a free credit program where we're encouraging people to bring in subscribers to our system. And for every 3 subscribers that a connector signs up, as long as they are active subscribers, then they receive a free credit to apply toward perhaps your sprint. And so this free credit program, we're taking $10 out of every $88 sale to fund that program and really encourage people to be bringing in more subscribers. Those subscribers are looking for ways to use their credits. So that really benefits you as a coach on our platform. So the total that's being paid out of the 88 is $66, and then that leaves us with 22 as OneFreePlanet to use toward operations and the running of the platform. So a little bit more detailed how this works for you, looking at the money side of things. Let's say that you, as you get started, you start with just running 1 sprint a week. And we're just going to average this out in all these scenarios to be 5 sprinters. Like I said, that's kind of a sweet spot. So let's assume you have 5 sprinters in your 1 sprint a week. So looking at that over the course of a month, that means that you will earn $960 a month at $48 a person. Now, let's say you kind of get a little more comfortable and you start hosting 2 sprints a week, again with 5 sprinters each. Of course, that's going to double. So now you start earning $1,920 a month. And after a while, let's say you add another module, you get excited about another idea and you start hosting that one. And so now between the 2 modules, you're hosting 4 sprints a week on average, 5 sprinters each. Now you're earning $3,840 a month. So this is purely from you hosting your own modules as a coach, your own sprints. That's what it could possibly look like for you. Now, let's look at the other possibility here for earning income, because you could also be a connector. That person who earned the $8 for every sale that you make, you could be that connector for other coaches. So let's say that you connect a coach, we can see over here on the left, who averages 2 sprints a month. That's like 1 every other week with, again, 5 people per sprint. So you're going to earn $80 a month from that coach as the connector. And this is, again, the connector is just merely somebody who introduced the coach to OneFreePlanet in the beginning. They signed up under your referral link, and now forevermore you are their connector. We certainly encourage you to support that coach, if they have questions and, are looking for some support. It's great to help promote them. And again, we're trying to create win-win situations here. So you as the coaches connector would want to be supporting your coaches in whatever way is helpful for them. But out of that, from somebody just really doing the bare minimum of sprints per month, one every other week, let's say, not that we have a minimum, but you would earn $80 from that coach. And then let's say you bring in another coach who does 4 sprints a month, so one a week. Then you're earning $160 from that. And you can see like the different examples moving up to, let's say you have one coach who's doing 20 sprints a month, 100 sprinters, then you're earning $800 from that coach. So between these 5 coaches, let's say you enrolled these 5 different types of coaches at these different levels, you're going to be earning a total of $1,840 per month in passive income. This is just merely you as a connector. You're not actively doing much here other than perhaps helping to promote them and just supporting them. So then we combine what you're doing as a coach and what you're doing as a connector. And your combined income then, in this scenario at least, becomes $5,680 a month. So this is, it's not like billions of dollars, but it's also not nothing, right? Like it's pretty decent. It'll definitely, in a lot of areas, depending on where you are in the world and what your scenario is like, it's a decent income. And again, of course, this is just one example scenario. It may be more. So let's say you're a really crazy connector, a ton of coaches. This can certainly be a lot more for you. Or, maybe you as the coach, you like to do a lot more sprints than what we gave in this scenario. It could be lots of different variables involved, of course, but we just wanted to give you an example of what's possible here and how we're building a system that is not only giving you income from what you're doing with your time, but it's also creating that other leg of income that will, support you to have a little more freedom in how you use your time. Make sure that you're able to just show up and do what you really love rather than feel like you have to be a slave to something in order to earn the income that you really need. And lastly, we're just going to touch on a few of the policy bits that are particularly important for you to know as a coach. The first being that 2 parts to this. One is that you must own your own original material. So this means that you're not licensing it from somebody else. It's really your own personal material. You've developed it yourself. And then you're not going to engage in any activity that would require us to obtain any licenses from or pay any royalties to a third party. So just be sure that you're coming in with material that you are developing as your own original stuff, and it's perfect. That's exactly what we're looking for. And then talking about what you're licensing us to do as OneFreePlanet. So you're granting us an unlimited worldwide non-exclusive license to this material that you own outright. Unlimited meaning that we have permission to share, to distribute your content through all the necessary means to help you sell and deliver your offering. Worldwide, of course, meaning that we can do that everywhere on the planet. And then non-exclusive means that whatever you're bringing into our system as the content that you're providing, you can also sell it anywhere else. We have no rights to say that you can only do that on OneFreePlanet. And then lastly, if there's a point at which you want to cancel that license with us, let's say that you're ending a module, you no longer want to provide that on our platform. Of course, you can choose to do that whenever you want. We just need a little bit of time to fully remove the content from our platform and also allow the time for anybody who has purchased your offering to, take advantage of that service, to participate in the sprint, let's say, or, fully enjoy your content. So we're going to allow a particular window for that, and that will be specified in the actual policy for the content providers. So that really wraps up the main information we want to give to you. We want to thank you so much for your interest, for your excitement to learn more, and we really do welcome you to join us. We're so excited about what we're building. It's really a beautiful thing that we're creating together, and the more people who join who are just all about connection and bringing more love into the world, the better it gets. It's really amazing to see how the energy of this is building. We like to say that we are creating connection beyond likes. We're building kind of a new social media here, essentially. We can have so much more than just superficial likes and superficial connections online. And so that's definitely what we're experiencing, what we're creating more of in the world. and we do hope that you'll join us. Thank you so much for listening, and we hope to meet you soon.